In Norway, there lived a girl named Alice. She was in high school, a very talented dancer. She was selected for a huge dance competition she had been eagerly anticipating for a long time. She started practicing very hard, but as time went on, she began to doubt whether she could win that competition. Consequently, she couldn't sleep well and asked her parents and friends whether she would win. Everyone encouraged her, stating that she would win because her dance was outstanding. However, Alice's fear didn't subside, and the day before the competition, she couldn't fall asleep. So, she opened her laptop and started browsing the internet when suddenly she got an email. When she looked at that email, she was shocked the mail was sent from her email address. After noticing it, she opened the mail and saw an image. So, she started downloading and noticed that Alice was holding a trophy. She was shocked because she didn't have any photos of her holding a trophy. When she looked deeper into that photo, she saw the date, which was tomorrow's date. She was confused, but happy that she might win tomorrow's competition, but also confused about who might send this photo. Then, the next day, she danced very well and won the competition. The judges gave her a trophy, and a photographer took a pic of Alice holding the trophy and gave it to her parents. When her parents showed her the photo, she realized that it was the same photo in the mail, and she was happy that she could know her future through the email. Days passed by, and Alice joined a college, and one day she was browsing the internet, again got an email from her email address. She was confused that she had no competition now. Then, why did I get an email? When she eventually opened the email, there were 2 images, so she started downloading and opening the images. But when she saw those photos, she was shocked. In one photo, it looks like a car accident on a highway, and people gathered around that spot. In the second picture, Alice is alone and crying at the side of the window. When she saw these images, fear started growing inside her because her parents had gone out of the city and planned to return tomorrow by car. So, she thought it might be her parents' photo who would reach home tomorrow. She thought that her parents would die in that accident, so she called her parents and said, "Please don't come home tomorrow." But her dad denied it. She told them several times, but they denied it. So she told them that if they came tomorrow, they would die in a car accident. At that point, Alice's dad got mad and yelled at her, "If you continue to talk like this, please don't call me again." And he hung up the call. She started to cry harder and thought if she had gone there today, they wouldn't need to come home tomorrow. So she took her car and started driving to that place. Meanwhile, she told everything to her mom, and her mom told her dad, "Alice is worried, so we will go home today." So both Alice and her parents drove in the nighttime. At this point, Alice had been driving for a long time, and it was now 5:30 a.m. She came nearby to her parents' city. Here, she saw a whole crowd of people looking at something. So she stops the car and goes into the crowd to see what is going on. To her shock, she sees the same crowd of people in the pic and the car accident. She asked the cops what happened here. He said, "A couple died in this accident." After hearing this, she rushed and looked at the car, and her nightmare came true. It was her parents' car. So after this incident, she moved to another city and started to practice dance. She was enrolled in a competition, and to know whether she would win the competition or not, she sat in front of her laptop and waited for the email. When the email arrived, she eagerly opened and downloaded the image. But to her shock, in that image, Alice was dead. She was shocked that she might die tomorrow. Suddenly, her laptop screen starts to black out, and a creepy black shadow appears. She thought something was at fault in her laptop and tried to turn it off. But to her shock, it doesn't turn off, and the shadow continues to show off on her screen. Suddenly, on that screen, she saw eyes. At that time, her fear started to grow, and the shadow slowly started to come out of the screen. And Alice, with fear, asked the shadow figure, "Who are you?" And slowly, the shadow turned out to be a woman. After seeing that figure, Alice started to remember her past. During her 8th grade, a girl studied with her, and her name was Emily. Emily is truly afraid of horror things. She won't go out alone even in the daytime, and she really freaks out if she sees any horror things. But Alice doesn't like Emily because she is obsessed with horror things. Alice loves horror, so she hates Emily. One Halloween night, Alice planned to scare Emily, so she sent many horror images to Emily through email. At the time, Emily was alone at her house, and her parents went out for dinner. While Emily was browsing social media, she saw the emails which had been sent by Alice. When Emily opened the mail, she saw many terrifying horror images sent by Alice, and at that time, Emily gasped, the sudden loss of power leaving her staring at the pictures in the cold darkness. Emily started to freak out in fear, and due to the horror picture, darkness, and creepy sound, she passed away in fear. After some time, her parents returned home and knocked on the door, but Emily didn't open the door. They first thought she might have gone out, but they knew their daughter would never go out on Halloween night, so they started to worry and got into the house by breaking the window. When they get in, they see their daughter is dead, and they see on her laptop many horror pictures sent by Alice. They realized when Emily saw those pictures, the power was gone, and due to the fear, she was dead. When Alice heard this news, she was worried. She didn't expect her playfulness would turn into a horrible thing, and now she understands in the name of revenge, Emily has been sending her the future events. Alice apologized. "Sorry, Emily. I didn't mean to kill you. I did it playfully. Please, Emily, forgive me." Emily said, "To give you the same fear which leads me to death, I showed you all the future events, and now no one is going to save you from me." And only Alice's scream remains.